So, is there anyone who knows what this country is? You're right, it's Mongolia. So, this is the country where I was born 16 years ago. And I am proud to be Mongolian, proud of our deep history and rich heritage that has been passed down for centuries. Our ancestors were courageous warriors, skilled horse riders, and nomads who gifted these wastelands to us. Today, that spirit lives on in our traditions, our culture, and in the hearts of every Mongolian. Today, in this stage, I want to talk about something that has been trapped in my heart for a long time. As we look at Mongolia today, we see a country of concrete roads where the borders between rural and urban areas shape not just our geography, but our way of life, our opportunities, and our dreams for the future. First things first, Mongolia is broken up into 3 different types of living. There is city living for those who live in our most significant city, Ulaanbaatar. Then there are 21 larger towns and small cities that people live in. Finally, there are 300 other prominent villages and countless other small ones. So let's start from the smallest. These countless villages, which are the sole population center in each of our rural counties called SOMs, are isolated, underdeveloped, and have limited access to basic services, including schools, hospitals, and public safety complexes. There is a high rate of poverty, as well as poor sanitation and water supplies. The population in these areas is usually below 10,000 people and often as small as just a few hundred. So the locals desire to move to either the towns or to Ulaanbaatar. So moving on to the towns, there are 21 AMEC centers with populations ranging from 10,000 to 100,000. Most of them are the capital cities of respective provinces, like where I live. And many of these are developing and growing. For instance, my town, Arrowhead, has a population of 30,000 people and has many modern amenities. Some of these include a total of 5 high schools, administrative facilities, places to engage citizens such as parks, museums, cinemas, and so on. However, we are still lacking a variety of resources which are necessary for our continued development, starting from green environment, heating plants, health institutions, and recycling enterprises. So the locals desire to move to the Ulaanbaatar. So the biggest city in Mongolia, the heartbeat of my country, Ulaanbaatar. Almost half of Mongolians, which is about 1.6 million people, live in or around there, which leads to higher access to better education, economic growth, growing demand for jobs, a greater mix of cultures, and modernization, etc. Majority of us are choosing to migrate there, ignoring the fact that there are a number of downsides to this trend, starting from all types of pollution, rising crime rates, as well as excessive population density. So you may be wondering why I wanted to give a speech about the borders between rural and urban areas. 7 years ago, during a family vacation, I had a moment that made me worry deeply about my country's future for the first time in my life. My family had stopped at a small village to pick up groceries and have a rest. And as we drove through the city, I was peering out the car window, exploring the village. Suddenly, something caught my eye next to the primary school. A small wooden structure. I immediately turned to my uncle and asked what that tiny wooden thing was. His answer left me stunned, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. So it was a wooden toilet, also known as a pit latrine. So wooden toilets have been used for centuries, creating a massive adverse health and environmental effects. But what struck me the most was that this wooden toilet was still in use at some kindergartens and schools. And knowing the potential hazard it could pose to the children made my heart sink. And that was when I realized my country had a growing divide, almost a border between rural and urban areas, and the profound impact it has on people's lives. So how does it influence people's mindset? So exactly 6 months ago, I heard the news that I was chosen as a debate team member who will take part in the debate contest among international private school kids in Ulaanbaatar. At the time, I wanted to run away as the idea of debating against private school kids whose English is almost perfect and experienced debaters frightened me. There was a stereotype that kids in Ulaanbaatar are much smarter than those who live in rural areas. And in 2023, research showed that kids living in towns like mine lagged behind their urban counterparts 1 year, while those who live in even more rural places were more than 2 years behind. Because of that, I worried greatly. So after preparing for the debate for a month intensely, we went to Ulaanbaatar to challenge ourselves. So here, the real story begins. I remember reading my constructive speech inaudibly over and over again, trying to memorize it by heart in my uncle's kitchen at 11 p.m. the day before the debate tournament, because I didn't want to humiliate my teammate in front of city kids. The day came, and I got up at 8 a.m. to go to the school. My heart was beating faster than usual as I entered the school entrance hall. And once I pulled out the big glass door, I saw a bunch of private school kids speaking in English casually and discussing their strategy. It was such a shock for me because back in my hometown, no one speaks English daily. And then at that moment, I was seeking a corner to fit in and become invisible. I urgently took my phone out of my pocket and sent lots of messages to my team chat group saying, I was scared stiff, these kids are fearsome, I couldn't do it, where are you guys? And just when I was about to panic, my incredible team arrived as a whole, which was absolutely majestic. They told me not to be scared and we could do it. And I clearly recall my cheeks were getting red, as they do when I'm nervous. Maybe they're now. So afterwards, the debate started, and I did my job great, even we got into the quarterfinals. That was when I realized I should not set borders for myself just because my hometown is different. We have the power to create positivity and joy in our lives. So no matter how dull or outdated our hometown may seem, we have the power to create positivity. So let's remember our surroundings don't define us. Thank you.